Hello friends, welcome to another video series on Angular. And in this video series, I am going to cover one of my favorite topic of Angular, NgRx. So normally it is said that NgRx is a very complex topic and it is not easy to be implemented in your web application. But if you follow my tutorial series, I can guarantee you that you will not only understand the concepts of NgRx, you are going to easily implement it in your web application. So let's get started and see what is NgRx. So let's start with what is NgRx now. In short, we can say NgRx is a state management library for web applications. So what is state management? State basically means in simple term, data. So when you work with your data in your application, that data is your state. For example, if you logs in your web application, and anything that you do in your web application, you are navigating to some other view, you are downloading a report, okay, you are fetching some users data that are in your application. Anything that you do in your application, you are working on some set of data. So managing the data is called managing the state. All right. So NgRx is specifically designed to work with Angular, which is a popular framework for building web pages. So NgRx can only be used with Angular. Okay, it is specially designed for Angular. So what happens is React uses a pattern for state management that is called Redux, and we are now NgRx uses the pattern of Redux, where we have the concept of store, reducer, action, like that. Okay. Now, when you build a web application, you might have a lot of different pieces of data that you need to keep track of. For example, if you're building an online store, you might need to keep track of things like items in user's shopping cart, or user's shipping address, or their payment information. All of this data that I already told you is called state, and managing that state can be really tricky. Why? Because your application can be a bigger or it can be a complex application. So here comes the NgRx, and it easily manages your application state. So it provides a set of tools and techniques for managing state in a consistent and predictable way. Now, this makes it easier to build and maintain a large, complex web application over time. One of the key concepts in our NgRx is store. So if you see in the image also, store is like highlighted with a with a background, okay, purple background. So it is the one of the most important concept in NgRx. So a store is like, you can say, it is a centralized database that holds all your application state. I mean, just like in the back end, you have databases which contains a lot of information, different tables out there. So same way, you can think of NgRx as a client-side database where you are going to store different things like users' authentication details, user navigation details, user order details, product details, users list. So many things are there. So managing these things in the client side can be done using NgRx. So you can update the store by dispatching actions. Now, what is action here? If you see, to update the store which contains your data, we need to do some actions. Like suppose user clicks somewhere, user click on download report. Now this is another action that is performed from the reports page. So we can provide the action to reducer. We will like cover in detail in next videos, like what is action, what is a reducer, what is store in more details. And because this is a very introductory video on this basic concepts, I'm not going to explain in detail. So action, when we do some action, when user performs some action, that action is sent to reducer with the initial state. Initial state means initial values of the state. Okay. Now a reducer takes the initial state plus the new action that user did, like adding a user, removing a user, modifying a user detail, anything. Okay. And then it update the state of the application. So for example, earlier the user details could be Rakesh. Now the new state could be the name is Rakesh Kumar, like that. And actions are nothing but a JavaScript object, and reducer is nothing but a pure function. So when you dispatch an action, NgRx takes care of updating the store and triggering the necessary changes to your application user interface. So this means you can write more modular, reusable code that's easier to write and test. So I hope that this basic video of what NgRx is clear to you. So subscribe my channel for more videos, upcoming videos on NgRx, and like this video. Thank you.